air. What's up, Charlotte? This is your girl once again on your airwaves on In Demand on Air with our co-host in-house. Purvis, make some noise.
All right, let's talk about it.
That's Mr. Nash, the one and only. We got Miss Kimmy Smith on the
right, Queen City.
All right, well, QC, Queen City. Yeah, you know, we all in the family, so that is what's up. We're so excited to be here. We want to thank God for being here.
Yes, indeed.
First
Amen.
and foremost.
Absolutely.
You know, for giving us the opportunity to have limbs, you know, and a mouth to speak and a voice to use. All right. Okay, so we're really excited about today because we have a wonderful, a special guest in-house with us, the one and the only Mr. Patrick D.Cannon.
All right.
Yeah.
Welcome.
We're excited for you being here.
I'm excited to be here.
We're going to get into Mr. Patrick Cannon in just a moment. First and foremost, we definitely want to make sure that we talk about the community event that we're having. Kimmy, you have the information over there.
Right. This is our Community Appreciation Day, sponsored, of course, by In Demand. It will be on April the 28th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And no, we're not giving out no stage time.
Oh, Lord, you
got
trying to creep it in.
You got to cut your
Okay, you got me. Okay, baloney. Okay, that's
free
fine.
food and entertainment. We want everyone to come out again. This is a community-sponsored event.
Definitely
and we will
is.
have voter registration.
Yeah.
Please come out.
Get it in.
Yeah,
I know there are other things going on, but you know, try to make a beeline if you can.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
Small stop.
That one particular area is very important because, you know, so many times we get people asking, you know, well, why should I vote? You know, well, then this is the opportunity to understand why you're voting, you know.
Right. And don't complain if
Right,
you're not
right,
a
if you're not
voter.
doing
If you're
That's
not.
right. Don't say that, you know, I want this to change and I want that to change, but you're not doing anything. You're part of the problem. You're not a part of the solution.
Exactly.
So come on out and register.
You either register or you find out why you should register.
That's right.
Right, that's it.
Anybody got any questions to that? Right now.
Not right now.
All right. So we definitely want to make sure that you understand that we know that there are other things going on that day. We don't ask for a lot of your time. We do want you to come out just to show how you are in your community. And if you're able to volunteer in any other of the projects that we got going on in future endeavors,
feel free.
Please feel free because we want to be a great part to the community in helping us along.
That's right.
So 10 to 5, 3100, the plaza, Shamrock and the plaza will be blocked off. So we're excited about that because we have a lot of room. We have a lot of room to do things. And if you have organizations, if you have businesses, if you have information that you think that the people should know, please, by all means, bring it out on that day. This is a free event. I can't say that enough. It's a free event, and we want you to get involved. We just definitely want you to get involved. So, saying that is what it is.
Kimmy and Charlene will be singing, so please come out and enjoy.
I'm not too much about singing. Huh? We'll make you happy. How about that?
Yeah. Stacking potatoes.
Right. Definitely that. We want to start off with that first of all. Secondly, I want to get into just a little bit about social injustice.
Well, just before we do that, we want to make sure we give out that phone number for you to call in.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that phone number definitely is 704-553-1370. Again, that number is 704-553-1370. Call in.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You can also stream live, Miss Kimmy.
www.wgivcharlotte.com.
There you go.
They changed it, so we make sure you just stream. Make sure you stream it.
And definitely that is one of the things that, you know, we've had questions about. Well, we want to hear you but we don't, you know, so that is another avenue for you to make sure that you stay in contact with us.
Right.
All right. So, in saying that, I definitely just want to talk about, you know, some patriotic ways. How do we end social justice? I mean, how do we end social injustice? And peace and stability is what we want. We want fairness. We want to make sure that we're heard in those areas. We get out here, and like I was talking to Purvis a few minutes ago, we get out here and we rally, we hold up signs, we go,
when the calls first happen,
and then once that is over, what else is
Then
there?
that's it.
That's
Right.
it.
What is
Right.
it? Then it goes into a court system where it's on a whole nother ball game. And then what do? We don't know anything. We don't know any terminology. It's the word means one thing out here on the streets,
Right.
but when you take those words and take them into a court system, those words turn totally opposite.
Right,
Oh,
right.
yeah.
And we don't know those things because it is what it is. We just think, well, we can go in there and say, no, you can't. You have to do
They
your
can use it
research.
against you. Remember that.
I
And
was just
believe
gonna
me,
say,
and
yes,
it is
yes,
used against you.
yes,
So
yes, it is.
I just want to make sure that we begin to utilize our brain and understand that there are certain things that we cannot do. It's good to be out here, rallying, but then take it back. Those words and the things that you say out in the street, you have to make sure that it's applied, when you cross those
Right.
lines.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I just want to say that, anything right now, sir?
We just wait
I
for
just
the
need,
intro.
I want
Yeah,
you to
wait
check.
for the intro.
Let's get it right.
We've introduced Mr. Cannon, but I definitely want to make sure that, we kind of bring him in.
Include
You
him
can
up.
chime in on
Right.
anything that I'm
Anytime.
saying, because a lot of times I don't claim to know nothing. I'm just a voice for the people.
I understand that. I don't mind talking.
Yeah, I
But also,
what he
I've been
does.
raised right, and so
All
I believe
right
in yielding
now.
the right of way.
know. All right,
Right.
now.
So
That's what
I'm a
talking
visitor.
about. That's
All
right.
Okay.
But you have,
You're not listening to Cannon. Patrick D, that is. On another station. We're on 1370 today.
Okay.
there we go.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let me just first just say this about my door. Let me thank Charlene, you, and Purvis, of course, and Kimmy for doing what you're doing relative to making sure that the community is engaged, that they understand what's
Exactly.
going on,
Thank
We
where,
appreciate it.
in terms of what's happening on the national, state, and even local level. It's really important that people engage and be a part of not just hearing, as they sometimes say in area mosques, synagogues, and
Come on
churches.
now.
Right.
Don't just hear me, but understand.
There you go.
And
Yep.
so, as long as you're getting people to understand, I think you're doing a very good thing here. So, thank you all again for what it is that you're doing. Thank 1370, of course, WGIV, for being the instrument that it is right here in the Mecklenburg County and region area. B.J. Murphy, who's a good friend I've known for a very long time, continues to be a part of the fabric of the station.
BJ.
Now you
And
said
does a
it.
lot of great
Yeah.
things.
That's
And
right.
so
That's
we
right.
certainly appreciate him and lift him up as well.
Yes, we do. BJ.
Big up. Yes, sir.
It's always good to see him and to be a part of anything he's engaged in. So
Yes, yes,
thank
it
you all
is.
again so much. But yeah, to your point about just the level of being engaged and involved, when you start talking about why it's important, because some people will say, I don't want to engage in being a part of the process as it relates to voting.
Right.
Well, guess what? It's your money
All right.
Come on.
that the county commissioners, that the
It is what
governor,
it is. That's
that
right.
any state official, that any local official is playing with.
Come on.
And you don't want to have a say about how your money should be allocated.
Thank
Uh-huh.
You
you.
don't want to have a say. Listen, I was looking at something not too long ago about what's going to happen in about 2033. And what's going to happen in 2033 is that there will be no more Social
Social Security.
Mhm. So
Yeah.
if you're paying into Social Security
And you're not voting.
and you're not going to end up getting anything
Come on now.
in 2033, doesn't it beg to ask, don't you have to ask yourself the question, what should I be saying or doing or properly
Right.
engaged in terms of
Absolutely.
asking the question, why am I investing in something that I'm not going to be able to reap at some
Right.
point?
Exactly.
Okay, so there are going to be some people that are going to be out and on their ear, and we need to find out exactly what's going on with things like that. You have issues surrounding health care that continue to be out there that I know the president has been pushing in the way of universal health care. Find out more about that, because some people say, hey, it's better than what we've had, even though in Canada they probably have another definition of universal health care that's probably more inclusive than what's being talked about here
Right.
domestically. However, issues like that and issues like education, and let me just bring that home even closer about being engaged in your children's future.
Exactly.
You know, you all remember when this issue happened with the area schools that were being shut down?
Right.
Okay. High schools and so forth.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's something called race to the top, these funds. And what happened was that at the top, meaning on the federal level, the president issued this ability for these monies to be made available to the states. In turn, the governor would be the person who could administer those funds to the different
So you
counties.
dispersing it to
Right.
where they supposed to, where
But-
she says they go.
Right.
Okay.
But you had to qualify for those monies.
Mm.
You had to compete for those monies. And some of the competition meant that you had to lay off so many teachers,
Wow.
close so
Yeah.
many schools.
Okay.
You see, and people didn't know about that. And so what happened here locally? What happened here locally was that we saw a lot of our schools get picked on,
Right,
if you
right,
will.
right.
That's
Yeah.
right.
They were clustered in one particular part of the county and or the
Yep.
city. And nothing happened in those areas that were more rural,
All right.
like
That's
Mint
true.
Hill per se. They had a Mint Hill, there's a Mint Hill High School. And now mind you, it was supposed to be one of the schools that would have been eliminated, but it wasn't. Largely in part because the school board district representative for that area stood up and said, no, not on our
Our
side.
watch.
Watch.
That's
That's
right.
right. Okay.
Not on our watch or our side of town.
That's right.
Now, where am I going with all that? See, look, at the top, in the beginning, when the idea was even thought about for schools to be able to compete for to have these dollars, what should have been included in that should have been something to say, for those area schools that will have to shut down in those counties, that it must be equitable distribution in the way of those closures. In other words, if one closed down in the south, one
One
needed to
needs to
close
Close
down
down in
in
the, that's
the
right.
north.
Okay.
in the
all right.
north.
Yeah.
If one closed down in the north, one needed to close in the west. If one closed in the west, one needed to close in the east.
That's right.
Mhm.
And so as a result of those, see, that would have kept the water from boiling over.
Right.
That would have kept tensions down in this community. And for people to quickly call it something and whatever they wanted to define it as.
Mhm.
And so I'm just saying that there has to be somebody to say somewhere, I want to engage enough because I want to make sure I'm voting for the right person.
Exactly.
Think about that person, that district representative that went and stood up for his folks.
That's right.
Now, one, he didn't do anything wrong for standing up for his folks.
He did not.
But the thing he did do wrong is to not think inclusively
Of everyone.
Of everyone. That's right.
of everybody.
Not just looking
Okay.
out for his particular sector.
Now, mind you, again, you can't be mad at him because he
Oh, no,
represents
that's
the
right.
district.
He's doing his
Yeah.
job.
But at the same time, you have to articulate that. See, I believe at least saying what it is. I mean,
Right.
there's a portion of the city that I reside in now that I didn't used to reside in. Yesterday, and I shared this last night at the city council meeting, campaign signs that go up all around the city and or the county, people running for office.
That's right.
People are not supposed to take those signs. It's a criminal act to take a sign off the street, out of someone's yard or out of the right of way where those signs may be placed.
Wow, I didn't know that.
The state has it where you can actually
Learn
put
something
their
new.
signs, political signs, in the right of way. In the city, you have to be so many feet back away from the curb.
Right.
State, they're a lot more lenient, and you can actually put them up and down the highway if you want to. So I'm in a part of the city yesterday, and I see this guy, and he's taking these signs up, and I got a little hot about it. And I shouldn't get hot, I'm pretty cool about this stuff. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be cool, but I had people that were literally stealing my signs during our campaign election, and they'll take those signs. They'll end up in creeks. They'll end up in all kind of places because people they may not care for you, or they don't like the way I look, or something like that. And when I saw what was happening, mind you, the signs they were taking happened to be for a candidate I don't even support,
Oh, wow.
wow.
right? But it wasn't about the candidate.
No,
It
it's
was
a
about the
principle.
act.
It was about
That's right.
right.
You're out here taking it, and see, it got to me a little bit because I said, you know what? You're stealing not so much from me. You're stealing other people's money that have invested in our campaign. People that say, you know what? Here's somebody who cares. Here's somebody who will make a difference, and we believe in this person, and you're actually taking from them. So I turned the car back around, and I said, yo, I said, who? I said, do you work for the state?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not an
I said, you
answer.
do? I said, you sure about that? Because the vest he had on and what it said on the back was something totally different.
Oh.
It wasn't state gear.
Okay.
And then I said, are you sure about that, or do you work for so-and-so and so-and-so? He said, I work for so-and-so and so-and-so.
Mm-hmm.
I said, turn around. Because he was standing at the side. I said, turn around. So he turned around and took his picture
Yes, sir.
with a cell phone camera, right?
Call him
I
out.
said, do you understand that what you're doing is against the law? And maybe it's that the people that you're working for don't know that it's against the law. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. And he said, well, you know what? We don't put campaign signs out here in Ballantyne. And I said, oh, you got your own city.
Oh.
But not yet. I know you're trying,
Right.
but not yet. But I want to talk more about that when we come back, if that's possible.
Oh, absolutely.
All right,
Yes.
stay tuned,
Right.
family, stay tuned.
Got to make it equitable.
All right. We are back, and I am so excited. Are y'all excited?
Yes, we
got
are.
Mr. Patrick D.Cannon,
Yes,
Mayor Pro Tem in house. Make some noise for us, sir.
What's up, y'all?
Trying to be all cool
So
about it. You know what I'm
dignified
saying? But this is the thing. We know him as Mayor Pro Tem, but do you know what Mayor Pro Tem means? You know, that is a question that I will pose in just a second. We definitely want to make sure that Ms. Kimmy go ahead and introduce Mr. Patrick D.Cannon. He's a big political official or public servant, as he wants to be.
Servant leader.
A servant
Servant
leader.
leader.
Okay,
That's
well,
right.
go ahead.
Those words, that's
Um,
right.
So we definitely want to make sure
I'm
that
going to
we.
educate you on that one, too, if you don't know.
Well,
All right.
we're gonna be listening out for it.
Pen, paper, everything. Let's get it.
We got it, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We definitely want to let the family know, let the people know out here that just because he's the city councilman, he's a man. He has feelings.
And he's reachable.
And he's reachable.
He's very touchable.
He really is. This is one person that I highly, respect. I respect him very much, and so if you have questions, if you have anything you want to ask Mr. Cannon, he's just a phone call away. And like I said, that number is 704-553-1370. Call in with any concerns concerning the community and how your question could help pose, answers to someone else. So
And you can also stream live at www.wgivcharlotte.com.
All right,
all
let's
right,
talk
we
about
got
it.
it now. So,
Let's talk
Mr.
about it.
Patrick D.Cannon. Kimmy, go ahead and tell us a little bit about Mr. Patrick.
Well, he's a native Charlottean, which is rare since Charlotte is such a melting pot.
Yeah.
He was the first to be elected to the Charlotte Council district seat. And get this, was the youngest at
The
age
youngest.
26
Okay.
person elected to the city office. So we'd like to welcome him officially to our show.
Right.
Not
Exactly.
Just,
Thank
talking,
you so much.
giving us who you
That
are.
was a long time ago, boy.
Time flies when you're having fun, right?
And he still looks the same.
He does. You
He
haven't
looks the
changed
same.
at all.
I think he's.
What's your secret?
It's the water.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't say that because the city got some terrible water.
That's what-
I'm
well,
sorry.
that-
It's
well, I didn't say what kind of water.
Oh.
Yeah.
Exactly.
okay. Well, that's
Leave us
what's
a couple
up.
extra bottles, on the
Please,
table.
everybody.
Yeah.
All y'all looking fine. Okay.
So, Mr. Patrick, let
Yes,
me
ma'am.
ask this one question
Sure.
from you. What are you doing for the community?
What am I doing for the community?
What are you doing for the community? Do you sit close to
just-
Mr. Mayor?
I sit next to Mayor Anthony Fox.
Look at that. Okay.
Okay.
So we got the next best in house. Okay. So
Okay.
talk to us a little bit about what's happening in the community.
Well, you mentioned the next best. I think the mayor and I regard ourselves as equals.
Oh!
All right, come on.
All right now.
Yeah, pop the collar.
You don't. It's like somebody that works with you in your organization.
Uh-huh.
They don't work for you.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Y'all
Work
work
with each other.
That's right.
And I think you got to get away from that and put everybody on the same level playing field. And I think Mayor Fox would certainly agree with the notion and the idea that we work together for the common interests of the community.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Bringing jobs to the city of Charlotte, whether it's through the business investment grants we issue, whether it's going out and recruiting companies and or corporations to be a part of the city of Charlotte, because when they come and we recruit them to come, they're actually helping us to expand the footprint of what we're able to do to reinvest in our neighborhoods, specifically those neighborhoods that are fragile or threatened in nature. And when I say fragile or threatened, socially, physically, infrastructure is breaking down, things of that nature. There's no access to having proper retail opportunities around the area. You know, because right now, look, when you move to an area, people are moving to an area where there are amenities.
Right.
They want to know
Absolutely.
what's in the area. It's much like what I did off of South Tryon Street we call it the town of Airsley.
Okay.
It's at 485 and South Tryon Street.
Right.
Well, you know, I worked to put together that master plan because I said, you know what, I want a mini Valentine in this area. It
it's
shouldn't
pretty
be.
successful.
It shouldn't be a situation where we only have Valentine for folks over there. We should also have Valentine in other places throughout this community. So
Right.
that was deemed as a smart growth development because what it meant was I wanted to create a place where you could live, and living means you could actually rent and then transition from your rental state to a home ownership state. If you
Right.
want to do
Okay.
that. So there are condos there, but then beyond being able to live there, you could work in the surrounding area. So there are jobs that we worked hard on to bring to the area. I wanted a place where you could recreate. So there's a YMCA there. I wanted an area also where people could dine. They could go right in their backyard. $11 million be the number that be given to the Knights for baseball. But then that number got reduced because there were folks that weren't comfortable with that, me being one of them. And then it came back to be, well, it was going to be $9 million. $4.5 million was going to come from hotel motel taxes. And then another $4.5 million would come from what they call TIG, which is a tax increment grant, which basically means this. It allows someone to go in and put money up first. So let's say if you're a private business person, you would come in anything else other than tourism. So, you know, I would venture to say, okay, let's just use that, call it a day. Well, there's still 2.5 million that's out there. That 2.5 million is that TIG money, again, I was telling you about, the tax increment grant. Now, I explained how it works, but in this case, what it means is new taxes are generated, new property taxes, okay?